a hard turn here. After the horrific shooting this week in Parkland, Florida, there have been renewed calls to have teachers carry guns on school campuses. Well, one sheriff is already working with a university to keep students safe.
Staff members deemed special deputy sheriffs at Southeastern University in Florida are trained to carry a concealed weapon on campus in case of an active shooter threat through what's called the Sentinel program.
Polk County, Florida Sheriff Grady Judd implemented the program. He joins us now to discuss. Sheriff, thank you for being here this morning. So in light of what happened in your state has happened elsewhere, you said we're going to take action. We're going to work with the local school to train professors and teachers to be prepared for an active shooter. Tell us about the Sentinel program.
Well, we started the Sentinel program in 2016 when it was very obvious to me and every other law enforcement officer in this nation, when your prevention and your intervention doesn't work, what are we going to do? Do you know that there is gun control on every campus in Florida, and I would submit across the United States, that you can't bring a gun on campus, and no one does, except for the crazed person, the active shooter. There has to be a line of defense. It's not something we want to do, it's something we have to do. And we have developed a program. We don't give a gun to just anyone, but we go through the staff and we look to see who has the clean black background. And in addition to that, we do psychological evaluations. Then we do great amounts of training, even more than the Florida police standards require. And only then will I make them special deputy sheriffs. So I've presented this plan to the governor and to the state legislature. The legislature's in session right now. We want to see if the Florida legislature cares as much about the children of this state as we do.
So, Sheriff, it's against the law in Florida to carry a gun on a college campus. But take me back to what you think would have been different possibly in this shooting if a program like yours were in place.
I think everything could have been different. And there's no absolutes in life. But I can tell you this, at least 2 coaches were killed standing in front of and trying to protect kids. Don't you believe it would be a game changer if they had a gun to defend the children? I do. Here's the basic math. The average shooter is finished with his evil deed in 2 to 5 minutes. We study these things. In fact, in Broward County, it was 3 minutes. The average police response is plus 5 minutes. When 911's call, the shooter is on the campus wreaking havoc. That's too late. We have got to wake up and understand that we have to have more than one, that we have to have specially trained people that have concealed firearms that can run to the threat and protect our children. They're our most important resource. I submit to you, there is not one parent that wouldn't have taken a gun and run onto that campus that day in order to save those children. All we're saying is let us screen the staff, find the ones that have past military experience, past law enforcement experience, that are avid gun handlers anyway. Let us identify them. Let us identify them.
Sheriff, makes sense to me.
Let us give them
when we only have 10
training.
seconds, do you think Florida will take this up and do it statewide, briefly?
Well, I can tell you, I talked to the governor yesterday afternoon. He said, we're going to do something, but we still have South Florida legislators that would rather your children be at risk than save their lives. The Florida legislature can lead the way for America next week.
Thanks, Sheriff Judd.
Thank you very much.
We want you to come back and tell us what happens with that law. That's very fascinating.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sheriff.
I would be more than glad to do that.